No Stillwater fly box in the United Kingdom would be complete without a varied selection of Diawl Bachs. This pattern has produced for me in a variety of situations, from scud-fixated trout to those focused on emerging chironomid pupa. Since its original somber color scheme, the Diawl Bach is now tied in a range of combinations, both in color and material choice. This pattern is one of my favorites, and I have a suite of different Diawl Bachs ready for service within my Stillwater fly box. So let's tie the hot spot, hollow-cheeked variation of the Diawl Bach. I've got a number 12 standard nymph hook into the jaws of my Regal. I'm going to start, the hot spot's going to be formed by using hot orange 80 MFC thread. So we're just going to give a thread foundation onto the shank. Give us some traction for our materials. Take the thread down to the bend, right about halfway between the point and the barb. It's a flattened barb. For the tail and the beard, we're going to use an Indian cape, red-brown. And we're just going to take out one of the larger feathers and just pluck that right off the cape. Alright, we're just going to take a small section, maybe a 1/4 inch or so. Going to stand those fibers perpendicular to the stem, that evens them up. Grab them in my thumb and forefinger, strip them from the main feather. I'm going to pinch and hold them. So my tail is it's going to stick out about half the shank length. Go around once, twice, apply more tension. I've got my tail in nice and gathered. I'm going to carry that up the hook shank. You just come in and trim the butts even. Go right up. Make sure it's nice and even here, so I'm just going to help keep them, stop them from rolling around the shank. Nice smooth foundation makes a smooth outer body of your fly. Got that tied in. At this point, I'm going to tie in the cheeks. Sort of get them tied in, but they won't be in their final resting place. So I'm just using some red holographic mylar for the cheeks, so we're just going to go right up to the hook eye. Take our holographic mylar material, just hold it up in place, get a couple of wraps on it so it's on the shank, and then I can position it. I want these on the side. So I'm just going to grab both ends, secure back, trim away the excess here, do a little bit of a rough trim, and I'm going to do the same on the far side. I'm just going to turn the vise a little bit towards me so I can see. Tying thread again right up behind the hook eye. Hold that 1 wrap, 2 wrap. Don't worry if it meanders around or wanders off, because we can simply take both ends and position the mylar. So you see how they're wide, makes a Y shape sticking out. Some errant fiber sticking out there. And they're going to be tucked along the fly just as we finish. So we can just rotate that back to horizontal, secure that in, and then trim away the excess. That way, by doing it now, we don't have to worry about tying in a bunch of different materials right at the head of the fly. We've got nice firm perches, they're in there to stay. So with the cheeks in place, I'm now going to tie in the rib. We're going to use some small gold UTC wire. Just going to take the wire and secure it down the shank along the near side. That's how if you've watched my videos before, you know I like to do this. So always along the near side of the hook, right down to the base of the tail. Tuck that away. And now we're going to tie in our body material, which is going to be Peacock herl. We want a sparse body on this fly. So I've taken 4 strands of Peacock herl, aligned them by the tips generally. Going to come in and trim the very end of the tips off because they're nice and brittle. Carry that tying thread forward. And we're just going to take a loop of thread, catch those trim tips, and secure them along the top of the shank. If you lift up slightly, tension will hold them in place. Don't pull too hard to break them. Now you could just gather the peacock curl and wind it forward, but peacock curl is, although a beautiful tying material, its one failing is its durability. So we're going to use a thread dubbing loop to secure and reinforce the herl. So I'm going to take the tying thread forward just in front of the hook point. I'm going to pull down and I'm going to form a dubbing loop that's about 1 inch to 1.5 inches shorter than my length of peacock curl. So I'm now going to form a dubbing loop. So I'm going to pull down a length of thread that's about 1 inch, 1.5 inches shorter than the length, the butts of the peacock curl. I'm going to form that loop around my forefinger, come back up to the hook shank. I'm going to start securing my thread back towards the base of the tail. I'm going to rotate that dubbing loop to vertical and secure it back. And this closes the loop up nice and tight so nothing falls out. I'm not going to use any dubbing wax here. So we're just going to carry that tying thread forward up near the hook eye. Okay, I'm going to take the peacock curl, stroke it together along with the left side strand, thread strand of the dubbing loop. I'm going to come in with my cowbird style dubbing tool, come down on the left outside of the herl and the thread, pull down, rotate the tool so the tip of it goes right in between the thread strand. See, it's on the inside. And I'm just going to pull everything down to lock it in place and then begin twisting. And at first just do a couple of twists because it's quite brittle here, and get a couple of wraps of thread to start. And if you want to add a little bit more durability to really make this bulletproof, you can coat just a light coating of super glue right on that thread covered shank. Put another wrap, and now once you've got a couple of 3 wraps around, now you can really start to tighten. And just twist in different segments. You don't want to apply all the twist right away because, again, the peacock herl is brittle. So we'll continue twisting, and now we're into sort of the meat of the herl. We should be able to twist this nice and tight. And that really makes for a durable body. That, of course, we've got it adhered to the hook shank with that thin coating of brushable super glue. Take that right up to where our thread is hanging, and we're going to tie that off. Trim away the excess. So with the body in place, I'm going to take our gold wire and just wind that up, adding further reinforcement to the fly. Come up, a couple of wraps over top, a couple in front to lock it off. Pinch. And you could fold the cheeks back at this point. I tend to do that last so it's got a little beard. So I'm just going to go back to our Indian saddle here, the brown red game it's often called in some circles. Stand up a similar size clump and pinched strip away that we did for the tail. And we're going to come underneath, pinch that in place, come around once, twice, and then tighten on the up pull. And that should lock our beard right underneath the chin of the fly. And if not, you can just position, just use your hands to manipulate that around when you're happy with it. 1 or 2 more wraps for luck, and then carefully come in. Notice I'm pushing, using my hand to push the bobbin out of the way and grab the butt sections of the chin, the beard hackle, and just trim those away. And now I've taken the tying thread right up. We're going to fold one section of the Mylar back and secure it back to the base to where the body ended, and come forward with the tying thread and do the same. And give those a pinch so they flow back along. And build up a little bit of an exaggerated hot spot head here. This hot orange, you could also do this with chartreuse and green. The combinations are endless. There's a little fry pattern. You could put silver holographic. The original Diawl Back was just a peacock hurl body, and the tail. You can flash back with no cheeks. The combinations on this fly today are literally endless. So we're just going to whip finish, trim, and then we're going to come in and trim our cheeks down the side. Trying to make sure they are both the same side. This one's still a little long. There we go. Stroke our tail fibers together. A couple of errant tail fibers here. Not sure what happened there. So if they don't want to come to the party, that's fine too. We'll just trim them away. And there you have it. The finished hot spot, red-cheeked or hollow-cheeked Diawl Back Little Devil. Great little fly. The permutations and combinations on this fly are endless. For more information on fly fishing, and stillwater fly fishing in particular, please visit my website at flycraftangling.com. Here you will find fishing tips, fly patterns, articles, information regarding my seminars and schools, along with links to my blog and mine and Brian Chan's online Stillwater fly fishing shop. You can also visit our store directly at stillwaterflyfishingstore.com. In addition, you can also follow me through my social media channels, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for watching, and please take the time to watch my other tying videos as well.